On October 27, 2025, Turkey and the United Kingdom signed a very big deal. The deal is worth £8 billion, or around 10.7 billion US dollars, and it's all about fighter jets. Turkey will buy 20 Eurofighter Typhoon jets from the UK. Both countries say this deal is not just about planes. It's about friendship, trust, and working together for the future. During a meeting in Ankara, President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan and Prime Minister Keir Starmer stood side by side, smiling for the cameras. Starmer called the deal a big step for NATO and for our two nations. He said it will make Europe safer, strengthen both militaries, and create jobs for people back home in Britain. Erdoğan said, "This is a new symbol of our strategic partnership. I believe it will open doors to many more defense projects between Turkey and the UK." He also mentioned that Turkey plans to grow its total trade with the UK from 30 billion to 40 billion US dollars in the next few years. The Eurofighter Typhoon is one of Europe's top fighter jets. It was made together by 4 countries: the UK, Germany, Italy, and Spain. Big companies like BAE Systems, Airbus, and Leonardo worked on it. This jet can fly very fast, higher than most planes, and it can fight both in the air and on the ground. It carries modern weapons, including Meteor long-range missiles, which can hit enemy aircraft before they even get close. Experts from Jane's Defense Weekly and The War Zone say that Turkey's decision to buy the Typhoon will give its air force a huge jump in power. Inside the UK, this deal is also a big win. According to Reuters, BAE Systems expects to make more than $6 billion US dollars from it. It'll also keep thousands of skilled workers busy building wings, engines, and radar systems. For years, the Typhoon production line in Britain was slowing down because there were not many export orders. Now, thanks to Turkey, the program gets a second life. But why does Turkey want these jets now? The answer is simple. Its old planes are getting tired. Turkey's Air Force still flies some F-4 Phantom jets from the 1970s and F-16s from the 1980s. They've been upgraded, but they can't last forever. And because Turkey was kicked out of the F-35 program by the United States in 2019, it lost access to the newest stealth fighters. So Ankara needed a bridge solution, something modern that could fill the gap until its own national jet, called KAAN, is ready. Buying the Typhoon does exactly that. It keeps the Air Force strong while local engineers finish the KAAN project. From the UK side, Prime Minister Starmer said the deal shows that Britain can still be a global defense leader after Brexit. He called it a win for British industry, a win for British workers, and a win for NATO security. For him, it's also a political victory, a sign that Britain's defense diplomacy still carries weight. But this deal didn't come easily. At first, Germany blocked it. Berlin didn't want to sell new weapons to Turkey because of human rights concerns and Ankara's military actions in Syria. For months, the talks were frozen. Then, in July 2025, Germany finally lifted its veto after long discussions with its allies. That opened the door for the deal we see now. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz is even scheduled to visit Ankara to continue the dialogue. According to Anadolu Agency, Europe has been slowly turning toward Turkey to strengthen NATO's eastern side. Turkey already has the second largest military in the alliance, right after the United States. It also became famous for exporting Bayraktar drones, which were used effectively in Ukraine and other conflicts. Many European leaders now see Turkey not only as a partner, but as a stabilizing power after the war in Ukraine. Last week, Erdoğan visited Qatar and Oman to discuss buying additional second-hand Typhoons from those countries. Someone familiar with the talks told Reuters that Turkey is close to finalizing the purchase of 12 jets from Qatar and 12 from Oman, besides the 20 from Britain. Defense Minister Yasar Güler said Turkey aims to combine these deals so it can strengthen its air force faster without waiting until 2030. The timing of all this is not random. The region around Turkey, the Eastern Mediterranean, the Aegean Sea, and the Black Sea is becoming more tense. Russia's war in Ukraine is still not over. The Middle East remains unstable. So Turkey wants to make sure its air force can defend its skies, protect trade routes, and project power if needed. Experts from Defense News say the Typhoon's mix of speed, radar power, and long-range weapons make it perfect for such missions. They call it a very capable 4.5 generation fighter that still has room for upgrades. Still, there are critics. Groups like Amnesty International and the Guardian editorial board warn that selling advanced jets to Turkey could be controversial. They argue that the UK should ensure these planes are used within international law and not for actions that raise civilian risks. But both governments insist the deal meets all NATO standards and export rules. Economically, the benefits are clear. The UK secures long-term defense jobs and reinforces its aerospace industry. Turkey gets access to advanced avionics, radar systems, and training systems, knowledge that will also help its own projects like the KAAN and future drones. It's a relationship built not only on buying and selling, but also on sharing technology and experience. Strategically, this agreement may shape Europe's defense map for years. A stronger Turkey means a stronger NATO's southern flank. It also means Europe can rely less on US hardware and develop more regional independence in defense production. Some analysts at BBC Defense Review say this could lead to more joint projects, maybe even joint exercises or missile systems. When those shiny new Typhoon jets finally fly over Turkish skies, maybe around the end of this decade, they will represent more than just power. They will carry a message that cooperation, even between countries with different politics, can still happen when interests align. They will remind the world that alliances are not frozen things. They can change, adapt, and grow. From London's factories to Ankara's air bases, thousands of people will be working, training, and learning together because of this deal. For the UK, it's proof that its defense industry can still compete globally. For Turkey, it's a bridge toward the future, a way to stay strong until its own jet takes off. And when that happens, when both the KAAN and the Typhoon fly side by side, it will show that Turkey is no longer just a customer. It's a partner in shaping the next generation of air power. As Erdoğan said during the signing, this is not just a purchase. It is the start of a new era of cooperation. In the end, behind all the contracts, the politics, and the press conferences, one truth remains simple. Every fighter jet is more than metal and engines. It's a sign of who stands with whom and what kind of world they want to build together. In modern warfare, victory no longer belongs to the one who hides the best.
but to the one who sees first.